I mean, I know they still Thursday, Friday, and Saturday morning, but I just feel like the sooner the better. Hey buds, it's Sage here and welcome back to the garden. Yeah, we're in the garden once again, and I know that it's been a minute since I did this. I feel like I just needed a break from social media as a whole because I didn't just get off of YouTube, I got off of social media as a whole. So I feel like if you know and if you're on social media, you do know that like it can get overwhelming at times. So I just needed some time away, but I am back, I am bigger, I am better. And as you can see from today's title, I will be rolling a J while I give you guys a story time about what went down at the actors workshop that I attended a few Saturdays back, as well as the trauma story that followed the actors workshop. So anyway, guys, get whatever you're about to drink, get whatever you're about to smoke. Let's get lit, let's get high, let's talk about it, let's unpack this Saturday because I don't know. Halt! Now before I go any further, this Saturday is 420. So let me know down below in the comments what you'll be doing for 420. Yeah, shout out to all the stoners that watch my video. I will be rolling my J's for 420. It is 420 this weekend, so let me know what y'all are doing. I'm just spending my 420 with Nick and Jen. Majority of my friends don't really smoke weed, so yeah, I'm gonna be celebrating 420 with just Nick and Jen. We're gonna be getting high, we're gonna have all the weed and all of the edibles in the world. So yeah, before I get into the story time or into anything, let me just show you guys what I'm using today while I'm rolling. I have two brown paper inside my sorry excuse for a joint holder, but yeah, I have two brown papers in here because I roll with brown. I use a chopstick, don't judge me. I have the weed as well, I'm not going to show you guys that. Of course I have my crusher. There's the bottom of the crusher, it just has a little bit of weed inside already, but I'm going to use the crusher as well to crush the weed. I mean, naturally. I low-key don't like these Smoke&Talks only because once I'm done, I have like 100 hours of editing because I talk way too much. But let's get into it though because it was a crazy day. Before I go into the story, there's too much before, hey? Before I get into the story time, I made edibles. When I was initially planning to shoot this video, I made edibles. The first time I filmed this video, I filmed them when I had edibles. So I made edibles earlier on in the week to try out for the video or to eat, so when I come onto the video I'll already be late. But like I took the footage, I was not happy with the footage, that's why I ended up not posting the video, and then that also kind of like got to me and I just felt like maybe I should just take some time off YouTube, because I have been working very hard pushing out all these videos I've been pushing out. It's not easy, so I just feel like I needed to take a step back from YouTube, maybe work a little bit on my Instagram. I was doing like YouTube, TikTok and Instagram before, but like I removed TikTok because it's a lot of work, number one. Number two, TikTok doesn't really like small content creators. When you post your content on TikTok, it kind of like doesn't do well for a very long time. I started like posting consistently on TikTok. I know this is wild, right? But I started posting consistently on TikTok at the beginning of the year. And yes, obviously you're like, oh, but you have to like at least take some time before you see progress. I get that, but I also felt like when I used TikTok Promote, so I used TikTok Promote once, and I felt like the amount of what I got or what I received from using TikTok Promote, or like the outcome of using it was, I felt like I could have done that without paying for TikTok promotion. I started to feel like TikTok is actually scamming us. You know what I mean? Like they're making us feel like we should pay for people to watch our videos. That's some hectic ass shit. I feel like the camera dropped and I didn't even notice because I'm happy. But like what I received from using TikTok Promote, I felt like I could have done without using TikTok Promote. Suppose TikTok just pushed my videos to the right people, eventually your videos will get there. So that's why I stopped using TikTok, because I felt like low-key was a scam. Having to like make Instagram reels and a YouTube video at the same time is kind of difficult. So I had to like maybe like put down some reels first, get my reels together, and then come back to YouTube. Honestly, whoever said content creating is not a job, like it's a full-on job. I mean, it does not pay at first at all. Like, I'm not being paid, I'm just doing everything I'm doing for free. But like, even though it doesn't pay at first or whatever, it's still a full-on job. Like, it's still a commitment, it's still a lot of work. Like, as you hear me even complaining about TikTok, it's like it's a lot of work and you don't even get what you put in at the end of the day. But yeah, that's a topic for another day. Moving on, I made edibles. I don't know how did it even move to TikTok promo, but the only difference was I used canna butter instead of canna oil, and I don't know if it was the method I used, but I used the same method. I melted down the butter in the slow cook, and then I added the weed, and then I let it cook in the slow cook for 6 hours, because the only difference with canna oil is canna oil takes 4 to 6 hours, while canna butter takes 4 to 6 hours, while canna oil takes 6 to 10 hours. But like, yeah, I don't know, maybe if there was something different I did, I'm not sure, but the canna butter did hit harder. I feel like it was stronger than the canna oil. The edibles that came out of the canna butter edibles were stronger than the canna oil edibles. So if you guys are ever looking to make edibles, maybe use butter instead of oil. I'm not really sure if there is something that I did differently, because when I researched, they said it hits the same. Maybe I just didn't use enough weed in the oil, but canna butter clearly did do something right. I also don't have like specific measurements on how much weed I used prior and now, so we never know. But yeah, I'm just saying from like my own flimsy or my own sloppy experience, because honestly I didn't do anything professional. Like, I just rolled everything off my head, so that's probably why the first time it wasn't as potent. But this is how I cone my Riesler before I start rolling it. So I cone it first because I just don't know how to roll freehand. Like, for those who know how to roll freehand, good for you, because people always judge me when I say this is how I roll my weed, but this is how I roll my weed. I don't think I might ever change. I used to tell myself that maybe I would learn how to roll it in my hands freehand, but I just feel like I shake too much. Like, you guys don't understand. Even when I'm not scared, like, I can just be chilling, I'm not cold, I'm not scared, nothing. I'm just sitting, but my hands will start shaking. So I feel like I don't have steady hands at all. So I can't like roll freehand, so I always like cone up my Riesler before I roll it. But if you have a problem with it, then that's on you, because usually when I tell people, they're like, no, but that's not how a stoner rolls, and I'm just like, my joint's still prettier than yours at the end of the day. So just smoke the weed, get high, and let's talk about the state of the world, because well, video is slowly becoming about my social media experience and edibles than it is story time. But let's get into the story. I don't know if I covered up the first topics that I was trying to like cover up before I get to the story, but let's get to the story.
Eventually.
So on the 6th of April, I went to this workshop. I did a get ready with me where I explained I was going to this access workshop. I got ready, and right after I was done getting ready, I then called the girl that I was supposed to go with, and then I took an Uber to her place. When I get there, fine, we ordered an Uber there, and we ordered an Uber when we get to her place, then we head over to AMPD Studios. So the morning was fine, you know what I mean? The morning was great. After I made the video, everything went smoothly, you know what I mean? We get there. When we get there, we find our facilitator outside, and then we find the other people that are also attending. So cool. We decide to go get something to drink, you know. So we head over to McD, we get ourselves whatever we got ourselves, and then we head back to the studio. So they open up the studios, we head inside, the whole workshop begins, right? So we sit down. I got to speak to a bunch of new people that I didn't know before, so that was amazing because I met people there. The workshop begins, everything is going down, it's fun, we're enjoying. There was a bit of an improv. That part did scare me though, because I was kind of like worried. Like when he was like, you guys are gonna get up here and you guys are gonna say a piece, I was just like, oh no.
Oh no, bro.
Because the thing is, when you're shy and when, okay, not shy, but when you're scared and you're in front of people, you can't hide the fact that you're scared. Like if you're shaking, if your heart is racing, if you're panicking, it's gonna show. The workshop goes on, improv starts, we all get our pieces through. He gives us tips and advice, and like he tells us where we went wrong, constructive criticism. You know, there was a lot to learn. There was a lot I didn't even know before that I learned on that day. After the whole workshop was done, the people in the studio asked us to come over and just like, they wanted to take a quick clip of us, you know, just 5 random people. They asked us our name and what we do, and then they asked us what did we learn from the workshop, and then they asked us what is one of like, what is the general assumption, what is an assumption that people have about actors, I think something like that. And then they asked us to give them a little monologue. So yeah, that though they did not say before we went upstairs. Like they didn't say that, oh, you guys are gonna do a monologue. They just surprised us with that shit when we got upstairs. But that was okay though, because I was able to handle it. You know, the whole thing, I feel like the first half of the day was amazing. It was productive. I learned a lot, like I said. Our facilitator was amazing. Yeah, like he shared a lot of knowledge, and he just let us know that being a background actor is not as bad as we think. And like what he told us, or like the points that he gave us and the information that we received on the day, he was not lying. Like if ever we look down on background actors, we're crazy, because you are the star of the show, low key. So okay, cool. The whole workshop and we get asked those questions. Fine, we finish with that. We come back downstairs. So I had to roll a J because I was dangerously sober. So cool. I rolled up. After I was done rolling up, we headed out of the studio. I went to go and find a spot to sit down and smoke. And then, like as usual, a security came up to me and was like, "You can't smoke here," because that's what everybody says when they see you smoking weed, specifically, whatever. So I was like to him, "Okay, no problem, dude. I ain't gonna smoke." So after we were done, after that, like after he killed my whole mood, I mean, we just took a couple of pictures and then we headed back to McD to get food to eat because we were hungry. Now, before I go on with the story, so you guys can just know like where the trauma is coming from. So there's a person there that my mom did tell me I should go to when I need transport, right? Now, me being me, I was like, I'ma just take an Uber because you know what, I'm hungry and I wanna go eat. So okay, that was the first thing that went down. Before we headed over, before my mood got spoiled by this nigga that told me that I couldn't smoke. At the workshop, there was a person there that she told me like, when you wanna come home, head over to this person. They will make a plan for you. And I was like, aye. But in my head, I was already just like, what's the problem? What's up with that? Like, I got cash. I can just take an Uber home. And I'm hungry. I don't think these people want to stay, because these people were like not just chilling around, like they were all getting themselves together. They were heading home, and I'm like, I want to eat. You know what I mean? So I was like, McDonald's is right there. I'm not going home without eating. So cool. I told this guy that, nah, I'm good. You know, I've got myself covered. Don't worry about me. And then he was like, are you sure? Like he asked me if I was sure about 100 times, and I was like, nigga, I got this. So okay, cool. I headed over, tried to have my blunt like I said, got my mood spoiled, took some pictures. Well, I didn't, she did. I took a couple of pictures of her because if you know, I mean, all the people that have hung out with me know I'm a fire cameraman. But anyways, moving on. So we took pictures and we ordered some food. I got my favorite chili cheeseburger. And once we were done, we were like, okay, let's order an Uber, let's head home. We're done now because, I mean, it was not early. The whole workshop ended around 3, so it was not early. Like it was already late, but I was also just too high to even acknowledge the fact that it was late. Okay, we got 2 cones down. I didn't even really show you guys how I did I? Well,
Big boobs. What? Child. Anyway, so
all right, cool. We are done eating now. We are now heading over to look for an Uber. Now, this is where the problem begins. This is where the nightmare begins. We start ordering Uber. We are in McDonald's still, right? So we're thinking, okay, so the first ride we're trying to order, it's not going through. So we're thinking, okay, we're far from the Wi-Fi. So we head over and we sit in front of the studio. And then like we're chilling there, we're still connected to the Wi-Fi. No, her phone's off by the way. So now we are relying on my phone only. So okay, we're like, everything's Gucci. You know, we're still connected to the Wi-Fi. That's not the problem. It's the rides. The rides are the problem. The first one comes through, he cancels. Okay, cool. We're like, alright, no problem. We ain't gonna pay attention to that. We're trying to order the second one. Nothing. Okay, so she tells me, she's like, hey girl, we got a ride. So we head over to the basement, but we're only picking us up at the basement of the mall. When we get there, suddenly the ride has cancelled. So we see one of these other girls also in the basement trying to like also order her own Uber. So we head over to her and we are like, hey yo girl, what's up? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? We're trying to order an Uber. Is your Uber coming through? And she's like, no, she's trying to order and her rides keep getting cancelled. So like we're all stranded. So we try like connect to her Wi-Fi. It's not working. So we're just like, okay, that's no problem. We'll just go inside and use the main Wi-Fi and see if that's gonna help. So we leave. We head inside. Now as we're heading inside, Gam was like to me, girl, how about we just like go to KFC has Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi. So I'm like, okay, maybe that one work better because it's not just general Wi-Fi. So okay, we're heading over to KFC and this nigga stopped in front of us and they're like, do you guys know where Cotton Fest is? I was like, Cotton Fest over there. And then these niggas are like, can you walk us there? One is asking us to walk them there, the other one's offering me a lighter to light my blunt. We walked away. So when we realized that, no, you know what, it's going down, and there's nothing we can do, we're just like, let's just take taxis, right? So now we're heading up to take a taxi. Mind you, I don't know how much the taxi is. I don't even know where the taxi is taking us. So I was panicking. I also didn't even like take note of the time. And she was like, we should take a taxi. I didn't want to agree to take a taxi because I didn't even know where the taxis were going. And then she's like, look, she's worried because of the time. So I checked the time and it's like going to 5. It's early evening and we don't know how we're gonna get home, and we are smack in the middle of CBD. I'm low-key panicking, so we're walking over to go get a taxi. And lucky for us, thank God, I feel like this could only be God, because God was just like, my poor daughter doesn't know how to take a taxi. She doesn't know how she's gonna get home, and if she ends up getting into the taxi, something else might happen. Let me just work my miracle, let me just do my thing, let me do my big one for my little child. And as we're about to cross, an Uber driver is dropping like 2 guys off, and it's turning and going back to the direction where we are going. So we were like, we stopped this Uber driver in the middle of the road. We didn't care, because we were just like, we're trying to order Ubers, they are not coming through, let's just see if we can stop him and convince him to take us. So people start hooting at the back of this nigga, and then he like pulls over to the side. Then we head over to the other side, to the passenger side, and we open up the door, and then she's like, oh look, we're stranded, we've been trying to order Ubers and they keep cancelling, da da da. And he's like, what do you want me to do? And we're like, oh, can you please take us, because we don't know like how we're gonna get home, da da da. And he's like, but I don't know where you're going. So we tell him where we're going, and he's like, oh no, where you guys are going is too far and it's dangerous, blah blah blah. Like, he's just giving us all these excuses. So I'm like, nigga, isn't this not your job? Like, aren't you supposed to pick people up? And it's not even like we're saying take us for free and we are begging. He ends up like saying, okay, I didn't say this, by the way, I didn't say this. He ends up saying, okay, get inside. So we get inside. Ngam gives him her address, and then he begins, okay, so we proceed to try. She's like, yo, my friend don't got cash on her, like she needs to. He's like, where's the next ATM? So she explains, and then he's like, oh, but that's dangerous, now you guys are making me take turns, blah blah blah. And we're like, I'm like, but if we don't go, like, I can't pay you. That's the thing, like, you just need to help me out. So fine. He finally agrees. We get over to the ATM. I get out of the Uber. I run over to the ATM, right? Okay, I get there. There's already somebody there. So in my head, I'm like, oh, fuck me. Okay, so at this point, I'm already swearing in every possible language, even the ones I don't speak. But I'm like, okay, fine, let me just stand, give this nigga space. Hopefully he'll be done, I'm looking away, I'm looking that side. I look, he's inserting the card again. I'm like, how can he only be inserting the card now? So I'm like, okay, fine, you know what? I'm gonna just leave it. I see him insert the card again. He's reading the paper that came out, and like, he's inserting the card again. And I'm like, bro. He did it for the 3rd time before I finally cleared my throat. I was like, excuse me. And he turned around and he's like, oh, hey, mommy, don't go to that ATM there. That ATM there don't work. Come to this one. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm here. Is it working? And he goes, yeah, this one is working. I'm like, okay, cool. Can you do your thing? Can you hurry up? He's like, okay, fine. And then he takes out his card, reads the paper, and puts his card back. So I'm like, whoa. Are you done? Like, are you ever gonna finish? And he's like, okay, he's not done yet. I'm like, fine. He inserts the card again. And I'm like, no, bro, are you done? Because an Uber's waiting for me. He's like, I'm not done yet. I don't know how many times he inserted that card in that machine. I'm seeing the Uber driver coming out of the car. I'm like, bro, Uber driver is waiting for me. If your card is not working, maybe give me a chance, let me see, then you can come back. He's like, okay, fine, you can use it then. Then he moves away. I'm starting to do my thing. 2 seconds later, this nigga's right behind me. I'm like, bro, can you give me some room? And then he's like, oh, no. He just wanted to pick up his receipt that he dropped here. Then I'm like, okay, fine, get it and move. And then he's like, fine, he's leaving. And then he walks away. And in my head, I'm like,
you don't want these hands.
So okay, cool. I get my money out to show you that this nigga probably drank all his money up, because like, he was drunk as he was standing there. I headed over to the Uber. We left. We dropped Nkamu off. I then tell the Uber driver to put in my address and tell me like, how much do I need to pay? And he straight up told me 100 rand. At that very moment, I wanted to cry, because I felt like, nigga, why are you charging me so much? From Gamu's house to this side, in the morning, I paid 40 something. I paid, I think, 47 rand. No, I paid 46. When he charged me 100, I really wanted to cry. But I just gave him the money because I was desperate and I just needed to come home. And also I was also just like regretting the whole I didn't go like with that other nigga that was like offering me a ride at the beginning. But anyways, that was my L. From there, anyways, after like he took my whole 100 rand, I just sat back in the car and started listening to music because I was sad. But like the ride was smooth from there. I got home, you know, it was really drizzling, so I just ran into the house, and then yeah, that's how the day ended basically. I guess the moral of the story is come home and eat. But yeah, guys, it was a good day. I'm not gonna lie. Apart from the fact from like the whole after lunch saga, it was a good day. But yeah, screw confess by the way, because if it wasn't for that I would have just come home smoothly. Honestly, I am not far in rolling it up. I've already rolled the paper. I have some weed in here that's crushed, so maybe let me just do like the final touches, and then I'll hop back on. I'll show you guys the joint.
One eternity later.
So after a lot of crushing and chaffing, I'm finally done. Here are my 2 J's. Yeah. One more thing before I head out, like I said earlier in the video, if you guys want to try if you guys want to try making edibles, then maybe you guys should try out canna butter. And if you guys haven't already guessed it already, I'm wearing green because it is 420. Happy 420 buds. I'm gonna end the video here. Let me just take a puff. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, don't hesitate to like and subscribe if you are new here. And if you're a returning subscriber, all you gotta do is like. Shout out to those who are returning, and if you are new, join the buds, join the garden. We have fun here, we can live here, we talk about traumatizing stories. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. What do I say? What do I usually say at this point? Thank you so much for watching this video. See ya.